We have an example here today where we're dividing a larger polynomial, 12x to the fourth plus 23x cubed minus 9x squared plus 15x plus 4, a fourth degree polynomial, by a single binomial, 3x minus 1. And we're going to use a process called long division. So we're going to do 3x minus 1, and we're going to set up a long division. Remember, doing long division with numbers, it's almost a similar process. So we, under the divisor, we're going to put 12x to the fourth plus 23x cubed minus 9x squared plus 15x plus 4. And the way we always start this out is we have to look at the first term of our binomial and divide it into the first term that we're looking at. In this case, it's 12x to the fourth. 3x will go into 12x to the fourth 4x cubed times. Or another way of looking at it, you can look at it and say, okay, what do I have to multiply times 3x to turn it into 12x to the fourth? And in that case, I have to multiply 3 times 4 to get 12, and I have to multiply x times x to the third to get x to the fourth. So when I do that, 4 times 3 again is 12. X cubed times x gives me x to the fourth, which is what I want. But I also have to remember to use the second part of my binomial. So I multiply 4x cubed times a negative 1, which gives me a negative 4x cubed. Now the next step is I have to change the signs on what I just put down here. So I change this 12x to the fourth to a negative, and I change this negative 4x cubed to a positive. And then I add them up, or take the difference. So 12x to the fourth minus 12x to the fourth is 0. 23x cubed plus 4x cubed gives me 27x cubed. And then I bring down the next term, minus 9x squared. Now I go back and look at the 3x again. I divide 3x into 27x cubed, or another way I said earlier of looking at it, what do I have to multiply times 3 to turn that into 27? And the answer is it's a plus 9. And then what do I have to multiply times x to get x cubed? And that's x squared. So now I'll multiply 9x squared times 3x. That gives me 27x cubed. But then I also have to multiply the 9x squared times my negative 1. That gives me a negative 9x squared. Then again, I have to change the signs around again. So I change that and make it negative. This is negative, I make it positive. And then I subtract, or take the difference. 27x cubed minus 27x cubed zeroes out. In this case, minus 9x squared plus 9x squared also zeroes out. So now I have to bring down my next term, 15x. But I also have to bring down my plus 4 to go with it, because I have nothing else left over here. So now I go back and look at my first term again, and I have to decide, what do I have to multiply times 3x to turn it into 15x? And the answer is plus 5. So plus 5 times 3x gives me 15x. And then 5 times a negative 1 gives me a negative 5. And again, I have to change my signs. This becomes negative, that becomes positive. And then 15x minus 15x zeroes out. 4 plus 5 leaves me with a 9, which is my remainder. And so now to write my result, my answer is going to be 4x cubed plus 9x squared plus 5. And I also have to include my remainder. So it's plus 9 plus my divisor, which was 3x minus 1, or it's over my divisor, 3x minus 1. And this is my answer.